Man like Conan, do I wish I had a poster to rip up of this film. Shark Night 3D is a B-movie-ish, PG-13 shark attack film that centers on these Tulane college students that decide to go to the lake house of one of their friends for the weekend to just have a good time, chill, have a few beers, and just have a good time there. But it's thwarted by all of these hungry sharks who just want to eat all of them. Now, to tell you the truth, I was not really looking forward to Shark Night 3D at all. I figured if I was seeing Apollo 18, I might as well just see this to sum up that I've seen everything this movie except for the debt, which I really want to see now after seeing these two films. I'll just break it short and simple to the point. This movie really sucks. The only redeeming quality about this film is that the 3D was surprisingly decent. A lot of the gimmicks are used in which the CGI sharks just lunge out of the water and their mouths open up like they're to consume your face because they're going right at the screen. And otherwise, besides a boat explosion into a bunch of gas, that's pretty much it for that, because otherwise, everything else about this movie just really blows. The acting is so awful in this film, and you can't even recognize all the actors, because the only ones I recognized were Sara Paxton and Joel David Moore from Dodgeball and Avatar. Otherwise, everybody else looks like they were rejected in the final cuts for the Final Destination 5 audition, so they decided to feel bad for them and put them in this piece of crap then. With a film like this, you're not supposed to take it seriously. Like in Piranha 3D, for example, which is one of my favorite guilty pleasure films, it was an R-rated, over-the-top, insanely gory film that knew not to take itself seriously and just play along with how much stuff they can get away with and how ridiculous they can get, and that's why it was such a fun movie, because it knew not to take itself seriously. This movie, on the other hand, decides to take it seriously, and that's where it just gets corny as hell at that point. Some of these actors actually try to act in this film instead of just playing along with the material in a silly way, and that's where the movie just takes a huge dip south. I respect David Richard Ellis for always having a B-movie style that he incorporates into his movies, like in Final Destination 2 and Snakes on a Plane, for instance. Those are two great guilty pleasures of mine. But then comes this and the Final Destination where he just doesn't know how to utilize it. Maybe it should tell him to stop making movies with the word 3D that is coined into it. Here, all that he really does is some cool underwater shots that are pretty cool in 3D, and also the 3D gimmicks that are done decently, but everything else, it just doesn't seem what he knows what to do with this film for what kind of tone he's trying to convey. Either keep the movie not as serious as possible, but then he makes it over serious, and then just throws in all these stupid twists in between where it just fails. And the CGI sharks in this film looked like they were lifted right out of a Sci-Fi Channel film. It literally makes Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus look like an Oscar winner in the visual effects category. I can literally play out my possible theory of how this movie got written. You take a pair of immature 13-year-olds who decide to break into their father's beer cabinet and grab a six-pack and decide to watch every dumb MTV show of this current generation. Then when they got bored from doing that and they were completely hammered, they decided to watch Shark Week for a little while, and that's where they came up with the idea and literally threw in all this MTV generation stuff for how they talk, because everybody talks in this film like it's right out of an MTV show, because it's always that stupid lingo that we become accustomed to from the stuff that we get in reality TV these days. And even when the sharks attack, it's not even all that good. Except for the 3D gimmicks where they come lunging at you, even though the effects look so fake for them. At the same time, it's just people getting sucked under. At some points they show people actually getting dismembered by them, but then they just get sucked under again and they're gone just like that. Honestly, Piranha 3D definitely showed how to do a cool B-movie, while Shark Night 3D clearly proves that you cannot make a PG-13 shark movie. You don't really have that extra edge to make it as over-the-top gory as possible and not taking itself seriously, and in this movie it decides to do the opposite of it and just fails in every single way. Shark Night 3D was definitely one of the least pleasant movie-going experiences I've had this year. Definitely one of the worst movies of the year too. I'm going to be a little bit generous and give it a half star out of 5. I was almost thinking 0, but given the fact that I enjoyed some of the 3D gimmicks in it, and some of the scenes where the sharks attack were decent, that's about it, because everything else in this movie is just so stupid and dumb. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Shark Night 3D. Click right here on these two links if you want to check out my reviews of Apollo 18 and my Classics in Theaters review of Scarface, which had its one-night re-release in theaters this week. Stay tuned tomorrow night because I might be seeing Blue Velvet in theaters, so you can get a review of that. And I'm seeing Warrior this Sunday night. So in the meantime, I'm Tyler from Cali Critic Reviews, and I'll see you guys later. Somebody better call in a hazmat team because we are really getting infected by bad movies lately.